Hey, here's another effect using strokes and overlaying strokes. So this is going to be one in a series. So these are all effects where I have multiple strokes in the using strokes and so as usual, I think with these stroke type effects, it's better to use a really thick style sans serif font, something that has a heavy weight to it. So let's look and see what I got up in here. I downloaded a couple new fonts here. Let's see. So let's see. How about for this? Try Eurostyle condensed heavy. So this will be a good font to really show the effect that I want. So increasing the size here, Control Shift period, and then convert to outlines, Shift Control O, Shift Control O, Shift Control Shift Control O. And you'll find that under your type menu here, convert to outlines, create outlines is what it's called. It's right there if you need to know where it's at in the menu. And then once I have this set, what I'd like to do next is have a black stroke or outline around the text with a white fill. So a quick way to do that is to hit Shift X. What that basically did was my fill was set to black, my stroke was set to, I think, nothing. And Shift X basically takes the stroke and makes it the fill color, and takes the fill and makes it the stroke color. So it's switching stroke and fill color. So now I have my outline here. And so for this one, I'm going to do maybe this effect called a stamp-like effect. Stamped edges is what we can call this. So this will be two strokes on top of each other. So when I'm doing this, I want to go into my stroke palette right here. Window, stroke is where you'll find it. But you'll also find it in two other areas as well. Let me move these guys out of the way so we can see. You'll find it in your properties window. So alongside here, I have stroke here. If I click on that, it opens up a stroke palette just like I have over there. And you'll find it under control as well right here. You can click on that, you'll find it there as well. There's actually a fourth place to find this, and that's when I go into window, let's see, not attributes, it's window graphic styles. No, it's not even that. Sorry, it's not attributes. Drawing a blank. There's graphic styles. There's actually another place for this. Appearance. There you go. You'll see I can bring up the stroke palette in appearance as well. But let me do this. There's a way to do that in appearance, which I can show you after we create this first style that we want to develop, the stamp edges style. So Under stroke, first thing I want to do is for my settings, dash line here. And this time around, I'm going to give it a dash of 0.1. And for the gap, I want to say 8. So I'm going to say 8 for the gap. And basically what this is doing is giving me tiny dots. Well, they're not dots yet, but they will be. So the next thing I want to do to get those tiny dots is under cap here, I want to click round, and then under corner, I want to click round here. So I got to click round for the cap and click round for the corner. And then if I increase that weight for the stroke itself, I get dots. So just right off the bat here is a way to create dots around something, around your text. So I got these dots. So, that's a pretty cool effect just right there. The next thing I want to do is copy this. So Control C and then Control F and go back to what I originally had. So take away the dash, but make my stroke smaller. You can even get rid of the stroke if you want to, and then fill this with white or black. It doesn't really matter. The whole idea with this is you can do black too, and then you get bumps. So you get bumpy text, which is a cool effect. If I go into my layers here, I can select the original first stroke effect by clicking on the circle next to that layer. So it's right there. And just a quick tip, this is what I always tell people when you're using the layers in Illustrator, it's really nice to see what you're doing. So go into panel options, click other, make this 120 points, or just increase the size right down here and other, hit OK. Now I can actually see my layers, and that helps me identify things quickly. So now I click on that first bloop text there in that very first layer, and then maybe increase that weight a little bit more. Increasing it gives it just like a nice bumpy effect. So I think that's like a really cool effect. And that's kind of a fun effect. Now here's a little trick. This is going back to appearance. So in my appearance palette, what I can do is add additional strokes to this. It's kind of a nice effect. So I'm going to get rid of that stroke layer on top. I'm going to click on this original. And then what you can do here is you can click on this first square in appearance. And this is going to add a new stroke. So I can do two things. I can add a new stroke, or I can add a new fill. If I add a new stroke, what I can do is just change the color of that stroke here. And I have access to all the stroke properties in the stroke menu by clicking on stroke over here. And this is what I was saying earlier. You have a fourth option to access the stroke menu, but this is in appearance. And I know I did this kind of fast, but basically what you can do with appearance is create these set type styles, and then it creates what's called a graphic style that I can reapply anywhere else at a later time to any other type of text I'm creating. So here, what let's see here, what I can do is go to rounded again, and then increase that size a little bit, and then go back to the dash line. And then what I have is this kind of cool dotted effect. It's a cool effect. And, I can keep on adding to this as well. So I can add another layer up here. Now this is adding a fill. Let's see. To this. And oops, I didn't have a selection. So let me select it first. I'm going to add a fill. So I'm going to add a fill. And that's what adding a fill does. So now I have a different type of effect. So it's a cool effect. I can create a graphic style for this. So if I select this, go into graphic styles, right click here and say new graphic style. Let's call this stamp effect. Now I have the stamp effect. So I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. I'll just draw like a square here. And then click on the stamp effect. Ooh, didn't work. Draw out a square, rectangle again. Yeah, not giving me the full effect that I want, but I have to look into that. Why I'm not getting what I want with this. If I go into appearance here, looks like it's missing one of the strokes. So I'll have to figure out that. I don't know if I have to select all these things and then go into graphic style. So I'm going to try this again. New graphic style. Yeah, doesn't really like it for some reason. So anyways, that's the this is the recipe here to create a interesting effect with dots going around text using multiple strokes and dashes together.